Listen, I moved to London for one reason: to climb the corporate ladder at the most ruthless private equity firm in the square mile. I was Kellen, the hungry analyst, focused on optimizing revenue and maximizing productivity. My boss, Sutton, was an absolute tyrant, a man obsessed with fiscal discipline who treated his employees and his wife, Alara, like high-value but easily replaceable assets. Alara was beautiful, sharp, and utterly wasted on Sutton. She was supposed to be a stay-at-home socialite, but she had a background in corporate strategy. She started offering me private coaching sessions to help me understand Sutton's unique, aggressive financial modeling style. It was purely professional. Initially, our meetings took place late at night in Sutton's penthouse office on the 40th floor of the Canary Wharf Tower, all glass, steel, and silent, crushing pressure. It was the perfect, sterile place for a secret to bloom. Don't judge me, but when a woman is that smart, that forbidden, and that close, the spreadsheets start looking less important than the risk. It was 2 a.m. We were huddled over a massive screen, analyzing a complex leveraged buyout model. The whole city was a blurred canvas of light below us. We were arguing about a single number, the crucial variable that would determine the success of the multi-billion-pound deal. "You're too cautious, Kellen," Alara murmured, pointing at the projection. "Sutton respects the highest possible risk tolerance." She leaned in, her scent expensive and intoxicating, and placed her hand flat on the desk right next to mine. She didn't touch me, but the proximity, the shared heat, the knowledge that we were the only two people awake in this fortress of finance, it was electric. Then, she slowly slid her hand closer until her pinky finger grazed mine, just a single, shocking, deliberate stroke of contact. That was the physical encounter. We both froze, staring at the number on the screen, but our hearts were pounding a rhythm far louder than the quiet hum of the air conditioning. The number didn't matter. The raw, undeniable heat of that single touch was the only thing that felt real. You won't believe how fast the professional boundary dissolved into pure, selfish impulse. The analysis was complete, but the tension was rising to dangerous levels. We were talking about the deal, but every word was a code for the desire that was suffocating us both. Alara walked over to the minibar and poured 2 glasses of expensive, untouched single malt whiskey. She returned and handed me one, but instead of letting go, she held onto the rim of the glass for a moment, forcing our hands to connect and hold the cold crystal together. "To the merger, Kellen," she toasted, her eyes burning bright. The merger was the filthy, forbidden secret we were creating in the silent, dark office. It was a purely visual, coded action of shared commitment to the risk. She started talking about Sutton's routine, about his predictability, about how he always needed to be in absolute control of the narrative. I was standing near the edge of the large, circular mahogany desk. Alara walked around to the opposite side, and still talking about corporate control, she slowly, deliberately pressed her hip against the edge of the desk. "You have to push back," she whispered, her voice low and dangerous. "You have to take the power." It was a blatant, dirty-minded challenge, framed as professional advice. The way she leaned, the subtle pressure against the wood, the demand for me to take control, it was a red flag the size of London. I was supposed to be focused on leveraging assets. Instead, I was only focused on leveraging the forbidden desire. The air was thick with desperation and the scent of expensive whiskey. I knew this was professional suicide, but the chaotic lure of her was too strong. I needed to stop the tension, stop the analysis, and just feel the fire. I rounded the desk, fast and messy. She didn't move. She waited. I gripped her arms, pulled her toward me, and the collision was instant, overwhelming, and utterly forbidden. It was a desperate, fierce kiss. A true, unplanned merger of all our suppressed desires, right there on the 40th floor. We were tangled up, staggering back against the cold glass wall overlooking the illuminated financial district. It was the reckless, impulsive, terrifying loss of control. We were focused entirely on the desperate, chaotic exchange, the thrill of detonating both her marriage and my career in one messy moment. It wasn't about being fully naked. It was about the raw, explosive truth of our desperation, illuminated by the city lights. We broke apart, both of us breathless, trying to process the sheer audacity of what we had just done. We were half naked only in the sense that our clothes were disheveled, my tie yanked loose, her blouse pulled slightly open, and our breathing was ragged with guilt and adrenaline. "We can never speak of this," I gasped, frantically trying to straighten my jacket. Ilara was smoothing down her hair, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and triumph. "Agreed, Kellen. Now, let's delete the file and pretend we finished the financial model." But before she could move, the heavy mahogany door to the private office swung inward with a solid, echoing thud. You won't believe what happened next. Standing in the doorway, framed by the bright emergency exit light, was Sutton, my boss. He wasn't supposed to be back from Frankfurt until morning. He must have taken a private jet and rushed straight to the office to check on the files. His absolute paranoid obsession with corporate control bringing him back early. He didn't need to see a kiss. He just needed to see his wife, standing next to his young analyst, both looking guilty, disheveled, and radiating the fresh heat of a secret. He saw the undone tie, the crumpled papers, and the empty whiskey glasses. The raw, messy truth of the high-risk merger was totally, disastrously exposed. Sutton didn't shout. He just slowly lifted the briefcase he was carrying, a symbol of his power, and let it drop onto the plush carpet with a deafening thud. His eyes were cold, clinical, and absolutely terrifying, confirming the devastating verdict. Our chaotic, forbidden encounter was over, and the entire square mile would know by morning. I lost my job, my future, and my reputation in a single, high-risk night on the 40th floor of a London skyscraper. I told myself I was learning about corporate strategy, but I only learned about total self-destruction. If you are pursuing an ambitious career, and your pathway to success requires a messy, forbidden alliance with a powerful figure's wife, does the desire for professional advancement ever justify crossing every line of personal and professional ethics? And looking at Sutton, the betrayed boss who walked in, should he be more furious about the betrayal of his marriage by his wife? Or the betrayal of his trust and corporate hierarchy by the employee who risked the entire firm's stability for a moment of chaotic desire?